Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nadaya Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are starting new chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. Text number 1 onward. Sutuvacha tata parikshit vijvare shikshya mahim mahabhagavata shashasana yatha sutyam abhijat kovida samadishan viprimahad gunastatha. Sud Goswami said, O learned Brahmins, Maharaj Parikshit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instructions of the best of the twice-born Brahmins. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth. So he's referring to, remember when Yudhishthira Maharaj had performed Ashwamedh Yagya, when he became the
Hare
king.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, can I request you if you can mute everyone because there's a lot of background disturbances that is coming up when you're speaking.
Sorry.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, if you remember, Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he became the king and he was ruling, and he asked the Brahmins about this boy Parikshit, and they had foretold that what is he going to be like, what his qualities would be like, and they told all great things about Maharaj Parikshit. So, Sud Goswami is referring to that context. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj, all the 5 Pandavas, they have left and they made Maharaj Parikshit and the other boy, what was his name? The great grandson of Krishna, Vajranab, as a king. Vajranab was a king of Mathura and those areas. Maharaj Parikshit was king of the rest of the world. Purport. At the time of Maharaj Parikshit's birth, the expert astrologer Brahmins foretold some of his qualities. Maharaj Parikshit developed all those qualities, being a great devotee of the Lord. The real qualification is to become a devotee of the Lord, and gradually all the good qualities worthy of possession develop. Maharaj Parikshit was a Mahabhagavat or a first-class devotee who was not only well-versed in the science of devotion, but also able to convert others to become devotees by his transcendental instructions. Maharaj Parikshit was therefore a devotee of the first order, and thus he used to consult great sages and learned Brahmins who could advise him by the Shastras how to execute the state administration. So Prabhupada here is writing that because he was a great devotee, all the good qualities in him were there. But to become a devotee, we have to develop those qualities. Like when we study, when we get to study the 12th and 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna discusses the great qualities of the devotees. Of course, throughout Bhagavad Gita he is discussing, but those chapters, some places he discusses in detail what are the qualities of a devotee. So a devotee means who has those qualities. It's not like we are chanting. Of course, by chanting we will develop those qualities. No, there's no doubt about it. By chanting, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na, Chetu Darpan Marjanam, and after that all the great qualities will follow. But somehow or other, we have to make special endeavor to develop those qualities. We have to, like in accounting system, there's check and balance. We have to keep a check and balance on behavior, on our dealings with others. That will tell us how great qualities are we developing. Are we developing or not? That we have to see. So a devotee is a great position actually. It's a great honor. But to be called a devotee, we have to have those qualities. A devotee needs to have those qualities. Like Mahaprabhu, he just gave few qualities, like humble, more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, never expecting respect for oneself and always giving respect to others. Even these four qualities, if you look at, they're so difficult to achieve. So difficult. More humble than a blade of grass. It sounds so good. But do we have that kind of humility? More tolerant than a tree. Actually, that was the reason I posted this video of Sister Shivani today on a group. I sent the link because she was discussing that qualities of the tree. And I really liked her explanation. She said that the tree in the scriptures, the tree is compared to be the most tolerant thing in the world. So one has to develop those qualities of tolerance. And the tree, she said, of course, we know that tree gives us shade, but no matter what it is, he's always standing and always providing for us. But the thing, the way she explained, which was really hit me was, she said, what do we do with the tree? We throw stones at him. And what does he give in return? He gives fruits and flowers in return. That is the quality of tree. Yes, it gives a shade. If you want to cut him down, it gives a wood. Everything is great. But that quality that when she was explaining, when we throw stones at the tree gives us fruits and flowers. Can we imagine ourselves if somebody is throwing stones at us and we still give him fruits and flowers? Because a tree has nothing else to offer except fruits and flowers. And when somebody shakes up the tree, he gives more fruits and flowers. That's really deep if you really think about it. Somebody comes and shakes us up with whatever behavior, attitude, allegations, false allegations, right allegations, whatever it is. He shakes us up. What will come out of us? What will come out of our mouth? What will come out of our heart? What kind of feelings will come out? The tree gives, more you shake him, more he will give fruits and more flowers. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expecting us to achieve. And why a tree gives more fruits and more flowers? Because that's all he has. He has nothing else to give. That's a devotee. And that's when Mahaprabhu says, if we develop those qualities, then Kirtanya Sada Hari, then and then only we can always chant the holy names of God. That is a devotee. Right now, yes, we are trying to be devotees. We are struggling to be devotees. We love being called a devotee. We love being honored by others. Oh, he's a great devotee. She's a great devotee. No, the qualities is what makes us a devotee. Not just holding the bead bag whole day and pretending to chant or trying to show off to chant. Qualities, insight. Because when we get shaken up, and obviously Krishna will shake us up, Krishna will tell his Maya to shake us up every once in a while. And then we have to see what is it that is coming out. Fruits, flowers, or some thorns are coming out. So that is a tree. And the blade of grass, I mean, no matter how much you step on it, we were like in temple, we always chant this Shikshashtakam in the morning. And one devotee, after hearing, he said, yes, I'll be like grass, like a thorn in the grass, and then somebody steps on me, I'll stick up on him and make him bleed. Of course, he was joking around. But this is our inner feeling. We don't like to be trampled upon. It sounds so good. Be like a blade of grass, or more humble than a blade of grass. But, and what is humility? Actually, what is humility? Many devotees have given different explanation, but what Prabhupada gave was, humility means don't think you are the doer of anything. It's Krishna who's doing everything through you. Don't expect to get the honor of doing that. I achieved this, I did that. Humility means to understand a real constitutional position that I am nothing but 10,000 part of the tip of the hair. I cannot do anything. And then expecting no respect for oneself. That's again very difficult to do. Outwardly, we can show that I don't want any respect, but inwardly, inert, what is inside, that is what matters the most. Inside, we are yearning for respect. Inside, we are really desiring somebody should honor me with anything, words or thoughts or gestures or anything. We want respect. And still, even if we don't want respect, we give respect to others. That is even more difficult. We are trying to find the bad qualities in others. We are trying to pull them down. There's so much of envy in our heart. We don't want to give respect to anybody else. So even if we outwardly say it, inside we don't respect. Because we respect that person's position or the glories he has having or the followers he is having. So outwardly we might respect. So these are the beautiful qualities we have to develop. And there's so many others, so many more. Like in second chapter, when Arjuna was asking what are the qualities of a Sthita Pragya, we go over those qualities. In fact, those were the verses, chapter 2, 54 through 72, that explains those qualities. And those were the verses Mahatma Gandhi used to read every day. When he said, I read Bhagavad Gita every day, actually, those were the verses because he wanted to develop those qualities. That is what is expected of us. That's what a devotee is. Yes, it's nice to go and chant and dance in the kirtan. It's always great. There's no better feeling than that. No better feeling than going and doing book distribution or giving big lectures or doing deity worship or cooking for Krishna or cleaning the temple. It's wonderful. But inside, what is going on? That will make sure that we last long in those services. That will make sure that those services are not just some pious activity, they're really devotional service. That those qualities are the one we have to develop. we at least start looking at, scrutinizingly, we watch ourselves. Do I have those qualities? In fact, if you all want, I can post from 13th chapter on the group those qualities that Krishna wants. He says they are the main qualities of a devotee. In fact, when we were discussing those qualities in the class, everybody was saying we should take a printout of these and put it on every wall of our house. That this is what is expected of us. And we should do that actually. Every day we should read it. This is what we want to be. It's not easy. Okay, so now going further in the purport. Such great kings were more responsible than modern elected executive heads because they obliged the great authorities by following their instructions left in Vedic literatures. There was no need for impractical fools to enact daily a new legislative bill and to conveniently alter it again and again to serve some purpose. The rules and regulations were already set forth by the great sages like Manu, Yagya, Valkya, Parashar, and other liberated sages, and the enactments were all suitable for all ages and all places. The rules and regulations were standard and without flaws or defect. So what Prabhupada is referring to is Maharaj Parikshit. He was a king now, and he ruled over under the guidance of all the Brahmins. Many times there's a big debate in modern days actually that the state and religion should be separate. They should not come together. Why? Because the religious people, the church people, or the priest, they have become corrupt. They themselves are not following the scriptures. And they want, just like anybody else, they also want power, position, money, prestige. So if they could, just like in medieval times, they could have the control over the king. So king would be the administrator, the front king is ruling, and behind the king, these priests were ruling because they had some ulterior motives. But this wasn't how it was supposed to be. The Brahman class is supposed to give advice to the king based on scriptures without any ulterior motives for the welfare of the public. Because kings won't have time to go through all the scriptures, to read the scriptures all the time, because they had administrative duties to take care of. So Brahmins were supposed to study the scriptures, know the import of the scriptures, and they were supposed to advise the kings based on the scriptures. That's why Prabhupada used to say that Chanakya Pandit was a real Brahman, because he gave advice to Maharaj Chitragupta. What's his name? I'm forgetting the name of the king Chanakya used to give advice to, or he supported him.
Chandragupta.
What was it?
Chandragupta Maurya.
Chandragupta Maurya. Thank you. I was thinking Chitragupta. Chitragupta is assistant of Yamarajji, not Chitragupta. Chandragupta. So, Chanakya was such a Brahman of such a caliber that he would not take a single penny as a salary from Chandragupta. He would still live in a hut, and he would still go out for begging, and he would give free advice to Chandragupta. So Prabhupada said at some place, because he wasn't taking any money from the king, he could give the advice, fair advice, without any fear. And that was a real Brahman. But nowadays it's all gone down. They don't know the scriptures and they want to control the kingdom without having to bother about the administration, how the administration should be done. So that's where the problem was. Here Prabhupada is writing, therefore the rules and kings like Maharaj Parikshit had their council of advisors, and all the members of that council were either great sages or Brahmins of the first order. They did not accept any salary, nor had they any necessity for such salaries. The state would get the best advice without expenditure. They were themselves samdarshi, equal to everyone, both man and animal. They would not advise the king to give protection to man and instruct him to kill the poor animals. Such council members were not fools or representatives to compose a fool's paradise. They were all self-realized souls, and they knew perfectly well how all living beings in the state would be happy, both in this life and in the next. They were not concerned with the hedonistic philosophy of eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. They were philosophers in the real sense, and they knew well what is the mission of human life. Under all these obligations, the advisory council of the king would give correct directions, and the king or executive head, being himself a qualified devotee of the Lord, would scrutinizingly follow them for the welfare of the state. So this was the real purpose of administration. Not like Prabhupada said, it wasn't like for eat, drink, be merry and enjoy and put more and more taxes and just have good bank balance in Swiss bank or some other bank in the world and just enjoy later on and run away from the country after they come after you and then enjoy. But that wasn't the purpose of becoming a king. The state in the days of Maharaj Yudhishthira or Maharaj Parikshit was a welfare state in the real sense of the term, because no one was unhappy in that state, be he a man or animal. Maharaj Parikshit was an ideal king for a welfare state of the world. So that was the real welfare. It's not like today's welfare, oh, I'll give you free electricity, free water, free laptop, free this, free that. That's not welfare. That's buying the votes. That's corruption. That's bribe. Welfare is when you really take care of the citizens, of their material needs and their spiritual needs. That is real welfare. To make sure that they advance spiritually also. Text 2. Sautarasya tanayam upayam iravatim janme jayadim chaturtas tastasyam utpadyat sutam. King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttar and begot 4 sons headed by Maharaj Janmejaya. Maharaj Uttar was the son of Virat and maternal uncle of Maharaj Parikshit. So he was a brother of Uttara. Mother Uttara, who was the mother of Parikshit. Iravati, being the daughter of Maharaj Uttar, was a cousin sister of Maharaj Parikshit. But cousin brothers and sisters were allowed to get married if they did not belong to the same Gotra or family. In the Vedic system of marriage, the importance of Gotra or family was stressed. Arjun also married Subhadra, although she was his maternal cousin sister. So, but the Gotra was different, so it was allowed. So, Janmejaya. Janmejaya, one of the Rajarshi kings and the famous son of Maharaj Parikshit. His mother's name was Iravati, or according to some, Madravati. Maharaj Janmejaya begot 2 sons of the names Gyatanika and Shankukarna. He celebrated several sacrifices in the Kurukshetra pilgrimage site, and he had 3 younger brothers named Shrutasena, Ugrasena and Bhimasena too. He invaded Takshashila, Ajanta, and he decided to avenge the unlawful curse upon his great father Maharaj Parikshit. He performed a great sacrifice called Sarpa Yagya to kill the race of serpents, including the Takshak, which had bitten his father to death. So he performed this great sacrifice after Maharaj Parikshit died, and the sacrifice was such that the snakes from all over the world, all over the universe, in fact, from Naglok also, they were coming and jumping in that fire and getting killed. Amazing yagya he did. And then the demigods had to appear over there, and they had requested Janmejaya, please stop this sacrifice because you're changing the balance of the whole nature. Just because one snake killed your father. So then he stopped. On request from many influential demigods and sages, he had to change his decision to kill the race of snakes. But despite stopping the sacrifice, he satisfied everyone concerned in the sacrifice by rewarding them properly. In the ceremony, Maharaj Vyasadeva was also present. He had personally narrated the history of the battle of Kurukshetra before the king. Later on, by the order of Vyasadeva, his disciple Vaishampayana narrated before the king the subject matter of Mahabharata. He was much affected by his great father's untimely death and was very anxious to see him again. And he expressed a desire before the great sage Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva also fulfilled his desire. His father was present before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vyasadeva with great respect and pomp. Being fully satisfied, the most munificently gave charities to the Brahmins present at the sacrifice. So that is Maharaj Janmejaya, who ruled after Parikshit Maharaj died. So I guess I will stop here. See anybody's any questions or comments? So I guess no questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said in the beginning of lecture that we need to develop the qualities like the change in behavior. So, Prabhuji, is that possible to maintain a same behavior with every set of people, like with devotees and in office and in with your friends and with your family? I mean, a person is showing the same behavior.
Well, if we practice, it is possible. It's just a matter of practice. It's going to take time. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Or maybe it won't even happen in one lifetime. But we have to make a goal. And we have to see ourselves, am I developing any of those qualities? Or qualities, if I'm developing, to what extent I'm developing? That we have to see. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank